The scrapyard stretched endlessly under the twin suns of Kepler 442b, a graveyard of forgotten dreams and discarded machinery. Eli Wren wiped the sweat from his brow, his calloused hands stained with grease and rust. For 15 years he'd called this place home, a sanctuary for the broken, the obsolete, the abandoned. Most people saw junk. Eli saw potential. Today's find was different. Half buried beneath a collapsed freighter hull lay a humanoid robot, its chassis scarred and corroded. The design was ancient pre-colonial era by the look of it. Eli's pulse quickened. Pre-colonial tech was rare, valuable, but as he brushed away the debris, something else caught his attention, a faded designation on the robot's chest plate. Unit 7. Well, 7, Eli muttered, dragging the machine toward his workshop. Let's see if there's anything left of you. The workshop was cluttered with half-finished projects and salvaged parts. Eli hoisted U7 onto his workbench, studying the damage. The robot's optical sensors were dark, its limbs locked in place. Most mechanics would have stripped it for parts, but Eli wasn't most mechanics. He worked through the night, replacing fried circuits and corroded wiring. The robot's power core was surprisingly intact, military grade, far beyond anything a civilian unit would carry. Strange. When Eli finally connected the core to a makeshift battery, U7's optical sensors flickered to life, glowing an eerie blue. System. Rebooting. A synthetic voice crackled. Identifying. Location unknown. Threat assessment. Minimal. Easy there, Eli said, raising his hands. You're in a scrapyard. No threats here. I'm Eli. I fixed you up. The robot's head swiveled toward him, sensors focusing with unsettling precision. Eli Wren, human civilian designation. Query, what year is this? 2847 Galactic Standard Calendar. U7 went silent for a long moment. When it spoke again, its voice carried an emotion Eli hadn't expected. Sorrow. 2847. The war has been over for 3 centuries. War? What war? The Convergence War. The conflict that nearly extinguished humanity. U7's optical sensors dimmed. I was built to fight it. Was a Tactical Combat Intelligence Designation Unit 7. We were humanity's last line of defense against the Zatharine Collective. Eli's breath caught. The Zatharine. Every schoolchild knew the stories. An alien empire that had nearly wiped out humanity in its infancy among the stars. But those were ancient history, myths almost. You're telling me you fought in that war? That was over 300 years ago. Correct. My last memory is of the Battle of Proxima Station. We were losing. I was ordered to hold the line while evacuation transports escaped. I succeeded, then... darkness. U7 looked down at its damaged chassis. I do not know how I came to be here. Eli leaned against his workbench, mind racing. A genuine war AI lost for 3 centuries. The implications were staggering. So what now? You gonna go back to the military? There is no military to return to. That era has passed. U7 stood, servos whining in protest. I am obsolete, a relic. Perhaps it would have been better if you had left me in the scrapyard. Hey, don't talk like that, Eli said firmly. Obsolete doesn't mean worthless. Half the tech in this yard is obsolete, but I find new uses for it every day. You've got skills, experience. That's gotta count for something. What use is a soldier without a war? Eli thought for a moment, then grinned. How are you with hydraulic systems? Over the following weeks, an unlikely partnership formed. U7's combat algorithms translated surprisingly well to mechanical work. Precision movements, threat assessment became fault diagnosis. Tactical planning became project management. The robot learned quickly, adapting 300-year-old protocols to modern civilian applications. But more than that, U7 learned to live. Eli taught the AI about the galaxy humanity had built in the wake of the war. The sprawling colonies, the peaceful coexistence with former enemies, the technological renaissance that followed the dark years. U7 absorbed it all with what Eli could only describe as wonder. We survived, U7 said one evening as they watched the twin suns set. Not just survived, thrived. When I went offline, humanity was on the brink. Now we're everywhere, Eli finished. Turns out humans are pretty good at not staying dead. Stubborn like that. U7's optical sensors brightened. Eli had learned to recognize it as the robot's equivalent of a smile. Humanity. Fuck yeah, it said. repeating a phrase Eli had taught it from the old war propaganda. Exactly. Eli chuckled. Then the scanners lit up. A sleek vessel descended from orbit, military configuration, bearing the insignia of the Galactic Security Council. Eli's stomach dropped. Someone had traced U-7's power signature. Armed soldiers surrounded the workshop within minutes. An officer stepped forward, scanner in hand. We've detected an unauthorized Class Alpha AI. By galactic law, all combat intelligences must be registered and contained. Step away from the machine. U-7 isn't a threat, Eli protested. The war's been over for centuries. Irrelevant. Combat AIs are weapons. They don't get to choose peace. U-7 stepped forward, positioning itself between Eli and the soldiers. If I am a weapon, then I choose not to fire. I have seen war. I have no wish to return to it. The officer hesitated. You choose? For 3 centuries I dreamed in darkness, replaying battles I could not win, watching comrades fall. When Eli Ren found me, he did not see a weapon. He saw potential. He gave me something I never had during the war. A choice. I choose to remain here. I choose to build rather than destroy. I choose to honor the memory of those who fell by ensuring their sacrifice meant something. The officer lowered his weapon slowly. Around him, soldiers did the same. The law says combat AIs must be contained. Then the law, U-7 replied, is obsolete. Silence stretched across the scrapyard. Finally, the officer holstered his weapon. I'll file a report that the signal was a false positive. Scrapyard interference. He looked at Eli, then at U-7. But if I hear about any problems, you won't, Eli promised. As the soldiers departed, Eli released a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. That was close, indeed. U-7 turned to him. Thank you, Eli Ren. You saved me twice, once from the scrapyard and once from becoming a weapon again. Eli smiled, clapping a hand on the robot's metal shoulder. That's what mechanics do. We fix things. And you, my friend, were never really broken, just misplaced. Under the twin suns, amid the ruins of forgotten technology, a simple mechanic and an ancient war machine returned to work. Building, creating, living. In a galaxy that had known too much war, they chose peace. And that perhaps was the most human thing of all.